There are two underbellies to Hollywood, two soft spots. One, if you can create a script and get it to an agent that they want, then you're in. It's still the only democratically possible entry into Hollywood. Having a script that they want and will die for. That can give you a card into Hollywood. The other is making a film that's directed so brilliantly and that's brought to their attention through festivals, through screenings in LA, that they say, I've got to have this director. Those are two ways in. Europe, the problem is much, much more complicated. The biggest problem with Europe is language. The biggest problem Europe is language. They speak Spanish, French, German, Dutch, Belgian, Ukraine, Russian, Croatian. There's no limits to the languages they speak. And the language barrier is almost impossible to break. Because language is culture, language is intonation. Every country has their set of stars, their sets of heroes. You come in as the outsider. At least with England and America, we share a common language and so can communicate. With Europe, it becomes impossible unless you really learn the language. And that's something which I was very fortunate, because my first film, I was able to speak English, because when they do a co-production between, as in Sandokan's case, between France, Germany and Italy, the only language they can agree on is English. Because all these countries in Europe are used to dubbing films from English into their own languages for cinema. So they have a full dubbing apparatus. So they don't have any problem. So I was lucky. Thereafter, I had to learn Italian to act in various other Italian films. But if you want to make your career, you can say, I want to go to Berlin. Sure, you can go to Berlin. It's a wonderful new city, full of the arts, full of lots of brilliant young people, great new atmosphere in the city, not that expensive compared to the rest of Europe. But you better make sure you learn German, or you'll be up the creek without a paddle. Same thing in Italy, same thing in France. If you want to work in these European countries, make sure you learn the language. And then talk about what you can do. And there are Indian filmmakers that have set up bases in Paris, in Berlin, in Italy. I don't know if anyone has, but various filmmakers have come and gone. But language is the biggest problem with Europe. But like I said, if you see your biggest opportunities in Europe for any reason, learn the language. What's the big deal? Children speak it, You can learn a language. It's not that difficult. And don't learn the whole theory of language as an abstract. Learn it like children do, a sentence at a time. Listen to it, get the intonation, learn it. It's not that difficult. But really speaking, we're coming into a different age altogether. We've come into an age where we have the global village in place. And global village is not just a term that we talk about anymore, it's actually happening. And it's happening more so in the world of audio-visual media. Just look around you. Look at your environment. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, even Google. They're not more than 10 years old. You have just taken this as part of your atmosphere, it's there. Not even 10 years old. In fact, if you take out Google, not even 7 years old. So the world has changed amazingly rapidly. Today, if Facebook was a country, it would be the third largest country in the world. So you're looking at a social revolution that's happening in your times around you, an audiovisual revolution, because people are not only talking to each other, they're exchanging images, they're exchanging messages. The internet itself is a repository of the most amazing audiovisual material. You're entering this world at the most exciting time. You're entering the most exciting industry at the most exciting time in history, with some of the most incredible opportunities opening up, if you can create them or recognize them. Do bear that in mind. You know, what the printing press did for the printed word, the internet has done for the audiovisual world. And since you are students at the Digital Academy, you're looking at various types of careers in the audiovisual world. Believe me, there's never been a better time, a greater time, when good talents will not be seen at a premium. Good talents will be seen at a premium and deserve to be seen at a premium. In India, we're sitting on a demographic time bomb. We have half of India under the age of 25. We have this tsunami of young people coming at us, where we need to create more than 40 million jobs in the next 7 years. And a lot of those people are not going to get jobs, because most of them are undertrained, badly educated, not qualified enough. I mean, a company like Infosys, even after taking graduates, puts them in their own academy and then trains young people before they can join. So you guys are not only sitting on the cusp of riding the wave of this tsunami of the internet, you're not only part of the tsunami of young people that's coming, but you're riding the crest of it because you're being educated well, with qualifications that will be recognized and appreciated by the industry and give you the skills. And the other thing is, we are in an age of complete democratization of filmmaking. Today, anyone can be a filmmaker. This never happened throughout most of my lifetime. You had to hire expensive cameras, you had to hire expensive lights, you had to sometimes use studios. It was very expensive to make a film, even if you made a 16mm film. It was expensive. You know, when I started making ad films, to get a dissolve in a film, we had to send the negatives down to Prasad Labs in Madras to get one dissolve done. It took 3 weeks to come back. That was the constraints we had as filmmakers. Today, for maybe an investment of $3,000–4,000, you can have on your computer all the tools that a post-production house costing $500,000 10 years ago had. It's on your computer. You just have to learn the skills. So you're entering it in an age of where anyone with the right tools can be a filmmaker. And those who are trained to use those tools like you are will have the edge. So count your blessings. You're at a very, very fortunate point. You are really limited only by your imagination. As Winston Churchill said, the empires of tomorrow are the empires of the mind.